Hey guys, welcome back to Shamelessly Opinionated. Clearly I didn't get the memo for wearing the shades. Feel really left out here, guys.
Alright, we'll throw you some shade.
Thank you for this.
Throughout this episode, if you'll be throwing shade.
Goodness me. So there's something I just wanted to discuss today, right? And I'm just wondering, where are we a year after elections?
My question is, which election?
What?
I think a year after, so I would say the same as you. I don't think I can necessarily feel a massive change in my own personal life, which is shameful, because then I should feel you. If you're my leader and I voted you in, you should have done something in a year. So I will use one example. I was in Shags yesterday, mom's side of the family. We were going for a fundraiser thing, and
Where's Shags, sorry?
it's Matibe. It's in Kiambu County, and it's, if you know where Kamburu is, it's a little past that. And basically we were driving from home to there, and I think for 50% of the journey there was no tarmac. The roads are not done. And like, it's not like a cute situation, like it's Maram. No, it's like terrible. The road is like non-existent. Depending on the car you have, or maybe the age of the car and your shocks, you can't make that trip. You just have to hitch a ride with somebody else or use public transport. And even up until a certain point with the public transport, with Boda is your best bet, because the roads are a joke. And I just find that completely insane, because my mom comes from there. I've obviously been going to Shags my whole life up until now. I'm like midway through my 20s, and I don't understand how that road hasn't been done yet. Whereas on my dad's side of the family, which is down Moranga, they did this road network incredibly over the last couple of years, and it's going deep. Like, all of Moranga is pretty well connected. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but at least the parts that I've been in, which when I was growing up had no roads, like getting there was hours on end. And now once you're on Thika Road, you're basically home.
So do you think this is a work in progress that's still happening? Because you can't just, click your fingers and then really good roads. Do you think this is a work in progress?
I mean, if they promised it and you're going to vote for them,
then I think that's the thing. And for me, it's thinking
it's a
of
work in
the
progress,
tarmac.
or they just
Progress means it's moving from one stage to another. And where I found the tarmac yesterday when I was going to Shags is where I've been finding the tarmac for the last 20 years.
it's like Masai Mara, though. The road to Masai Mara. First of all, Masai Mara is one thing that we can boast about. As Kenya, we can boast about our sandy beaches, we can boast about Masai Mara, and we can boast about Mount Kenya. But you'll always find like the road, like from Narok Town, when you're going down towards Mara, that road has been bad since time immemorial, if you guys can remember.
Yeah, I mean, some people said it was part of the whole
experience.
vibe.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, is it part
But now they're making it tarmac.
It's just really like tiring. It's like a Great Rift Road. It just be bad, but right now going there
it's really nice.
it's really easy. So that was a side note. Now let's get into it.
Before
1 year
Nyaga
after
gets into this.
I'll let work go first. It's okay.
I think I kind of agree with the girls.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, what I've noticed generally with our peers is more people are making more effort to be aware. I think personally for me, like, this was the one election I really felt, because I don't know, adulting and for the first time I really saw what is wrong with the system. Like, I can't pinpoint like specifically, well, I can. But then there's certain things that I became a bit more aware of. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, so we have a planning problem in Nairobi. Like, those things, like just things like that. Like, why is Nairobi flooding every 5 minutes? Something that you mentioned. And so that was interesting, because I've never really made a deliberate effort to like get into politics. But it's definitely something that I'm considering learning about. I hate it. I absolutely hate politics, but I think it's something that we need to at least know a bit about, or the basics of. No, it's true, Nyaga.
I love politics. And like what Wag said, I absolutely love politics. But
so Nyaga, I'm just gonna stop.
A year, no, chill. I'm totally tired of being interrupted now. Guys, I'm out, bye, I'm just messing around. So after politics, first and foremost, kudos to each and every Kenyan citizen, all 42 million of us. Last year we were at such a bad place this time, where we were in a state of anarchy, where we were legit on the brink of going into civil war. And I feel like how we've reacted and how we've picked ourselves up like throughout this year is very, very remarkable. Like the whole world was sending their journalists left, right, and center to come and record how we're going to ban our country again. And it didn't happen. So kudos to absolutely every Kenyan. 1, 2, to the president and to the official opposition leader, kudos again. You guys actually brought peace and calm to Kenya. With regards to demolitions, it shows like, you know how people used to just are so used to sweeping things under the rug. Then now you actually lift up the rug and you see how much trash is under there. Like, I appreciate the fact that we're doing something about it, but I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do at this particular time. Because, wait, just wait. Because we're going to demolish 17,000 homes. And we already live in poverty. People can hardly get somewhere to stay as it is. And then last week, but not too long ago, we already took a small section of Kibera. The shanties were put down, so now we're talking about the second phase of now destroying 17,000 homes. I don't know how smart it is, but I'm pretty sure it's part of weareone corruption. So we just have to wait and see. Last thing, DPP, Nuruhaji, if you're watching this, you are remarkable. Keep doing what you're doing. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, keep doing what you're doing. I feel like we're on the right path. Vijana, I'm Kenny.
Yeah, I knew it.
Vijana, I'm Kenny.
See, the thing with the demolitions, right? I mean, I was away for a while, but then I came back and I hear all these places are, I mean, this whole demolitions thing is actually happening. These homes that are being taken down. What is the... Cool? No, it's okay.
You don't want to be cool?
No. I'm cool without the shades. I don't need shades to look cool.
She's already started throwing shades. Like, you don't even have more shades than us.
As I was saying. Okay. So, like... that demolishing all these houses, is the government then subsidizing or helping people relocate? Because it's not like it was their fault that they moved into an apartment block that's already built up. They've just moved in there. They have bought the property, the apartment, for example, and it's going to be taken down because it's river reserve or whatever it is. What is the government doing to then rehouse people who spent a lot of money buying this original house? It's not like they have another 15, 16 M to put somewhere else. And it's not just now I'm talking about like the middle class sort of level. The upper class, sure, they can do their thing, okay?
No, tribe is going down.
I heard do sit as well.
Is also going down.
And that's investment. Okay. So, and I think for me, it's more about like, I completely agree with you guys. Oh my God, you guys, everyone on Shamelessly Opinionated is on the same page.
For the first time.
Cool. I agree with you guys. I think that it's so unfair for you. Maybe there's a building that's been there for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and maybe you've been living there for the past couple of months, or you've been living there for the last decade, and you didn't have any responsibility role to play in knowing that this was not built in the right place. But also, I have one question, and this is now the whole thing of a year after elections where there's actions being taken. But I'm like, are you solving the actual problem? Because I'm like, these buildings went up with approval, right? Let me even take off my glasses. These buildings went up with approval. You approve to buy the land, and you change, I think on the deed and stuff, they usually have the reason, whether it would be a residential property, whether it be commercial, whether that's changed, as a whole process. And then you built, and you hired people and everything, and you paid taxes to the government and all of that. And then you now had people living there. These people paid water bills, they paid electricity bills. If it was a mall, same thing. So throughout this entire process, there was several government officials and organizations that were involved. And then now you come and bring down the building. So I'm like, wait. Are we going to get past that? Because there were bribes that were paid, or systems that weren't followed, or people just didn't do their job. So yes, you bring down the building, but what does that tell me as a Kenyan, and what is it? So we're saying a year after elections, but I have felt your difference because I go past HQue a lot and I've seen it's now down. But like we were saying, whenever we're in town, and we know rains are coming, we know, because we've had a drought. And guys, I've not lived a very long life, but I know Kenya. We have drought, and then we have floods, and then we have drought, and then we have floods. So we know it's coming. And you don't prepare. we're not taking care of the drainage in a new place that's being built. If I'm building a new building today, I can just bribe somebody. Nobody's gonna come and make sure that I'm making sure that the drainage is proper and according to the city standards. So
very true.
my question is, are we actually solving the real problem, and are people going to be held accountable in the future?
Yes, just to answer you, yes, I do think that. Because see, the thing about Kenyans is Kenyans are really, really spoiled, Susan. So you could see how much property is getting damaged through the floods recently. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate recently through the floods. So we go on social media and like we absolutely rant about like how our drainage system is just rubbish. You go onto your timeline or anywhere, you just see how many places are being affected by the floods. So what's happening is like the government's just put its foot down and is just saying, okay, fine, cool. We're going to try fix your problem, and this is how. A lot of this came up because of corruption. A lot of people are going to get hurt. Like, in all honesty, like, you know, Kileleshwa, where Shell was, the first place that went down. The brown building, the brown apartment is being cut in half.
Right next.
In half. And most of those houses were sold,
It's ridiculous.
So you get a lot of people getting messed up with their investments.
Guys,
but here's the thing that we need to understand, maybe it's not all bad, especially moving forward. You know, in life, you need to experience something so that you actually have a way forward. And so in my view right now, as I'm saying, is maybe for our generation and future generations, before we invest or buy a certain piece of property, maybe we want to see the planning approvals. You know, we'll actually exercise more caution in what's happening. And as much as it's a bad thing, I am all for Kenya. Kenya is my girlfriend, Kenya is my wife. So anything for Kenya,
Alright guys, honestly I think we are all in agreement on this. Our standards going forward need to improve, and we need to see that. A year after elections, we can feel the pinch, but there's also some really good things happening.
The Big Four is absolutely brilliant. Thanks, President.
And also, you know, we're working towards Vision 2030. You can see like some roads are still trying to be developed as well.
SGR extension.
There's also like the business side of things, the business-Chinese relations. I went for a business symposium the other day and it was amazing. The things Betty Mulay said, you know, the PS, she made a lot of sense. She's encouraging foreigners to come into the country to help us build and grow. Instead of importing cars, why can't we assemble the parts here? Manufacturing textiles, instead of buying ready-made stuff, why can't we come here? And then by that way we're also creating employment. So as much as there's all this negativity happening, there's also a lot of positives. Now we want to hear what you've got to say about this. Where do you think we are a year after elections, both the good and the bad?
And the ugly too, if there is ugly.
Yeah, let us know.
Healthcare wise, how the Cuban doctors doing in Kenya.
Let's continue this conversation because we could stay here for
married
ages.
a Cuban doctor, but we'll keep that for another forum. But you wrap it up.
Subscribe to our channel.
Like.
Follow us on Instagram at Shamelessly Opinionated. Drop us a line.